Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much again for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look here, of course, at Bitcoin. Continues to progress higher here. We got a nice little reset. We're 6 hours into this continuation. Starting to see a bit of a slowing pressure, but also a significant amount of Bitcoin dominance increase here. Basically what this just means is money's flowing away from altcoins, flowing into Bitcoin, and most alts are struggling pretty hard today. So may not be the best consideration right now at this exact time to consider trading altcoins, but that's really up to you and depending on how they look. Every chart's a little bit different right now. Having said that though, let's take a look at liquidation, kind of see where we're at. Do me a favor, hit the like button, comment below every single chance you get. Pretty much just helps grow the channel. Honestly, subscribers and or likes are very low right now. I know the market kind of blows, but come on, do me a favor and just help a brother out. All right, anyways, taking a look at liquidation. 109,000 is that upper area of that local range. So to me, I think 109 seems like a prime candidate for a potential area to consider shorting, based on local liquidation being swept, but also just overextension plus hitting our descending trend. I'll show you that here in the charts in a minute. But to clarify, 109 may not be the stopping point. There's a lot of liquidation between 111 and upwards now of 115 to 116. So it's starting to pile up as the shorts continue to increase. Well, the thing that's kind of crazy here is the liquidation delta is super high, or this isn't super high, but it's getting there. We're at about 20 to 25 billion. That's we've seen 40 billion for Bitcoin before on monumental runs, but at this point, I think it's a bad idea to short at this exact moment. But if we get a little bit further up, 109, 110 maybe, then it might be worthwhile considering, shorting that local resistance and or the descending trend. All that being said, at this exact moment, liquidation delta is too high to consider shorting. It's not a good idea at this moment. All that kind of to clarify, to summarize that, open interest is at 105 to 106K. All right, so if you're going to consider a short, ensure you secure profits between 105 and 106 because the likelihood of it going below that level is lower based on the simple fact that we have some support based on volume at that range. You can see it kind of reflected here too. In fact, if we zoom out, if I'm not mistaken, 104.5 was the previous. Is that still the case? Yeah, still right around there. So 105,000 roughly is that area of support based on open interest or the point of control here. They're roughly the same thing. This is just a larger time frame. So ever since May, basically we've seen the last 2 months worth of price action in this range. We can see 105K is that most averaged position for for volume. Okay, so that's good to know that. Okay, so now that we understand kind of the support and all that, what's the daily time frame look like? Well, we've broken above the 50 and the 20-day SMA. Always a favorable sign. Yesterday I mentioned this too. We're above our moving averages and or the SMA. In fact, I want to kind of bring this to your attention. We've actually secured a decent amount of profits in our community here. 40% on a Bitcoin long. SCI hit all targets, 89%, and ETH 62%. So it's been a really good week for us. And I like to mention that because the reason why we took these trades is based on the simple fact that we had confirming factors down in the 102K range. Now, while we didn't break the descending trend line at that time, we had a lot of good reasons why, the shifts and momentums that were occurring at the time. So I'm bringing that to your attention just so you know, when we look at the charts now, they're still confirming further upside, but we're getting a little bit more on the overextended side. Now that there's late longs kind of starting to pile up, market makers know that they're going to try to sweep those late longs. So just know that we may see capitulation soon, a pullback to the local support, which was the previous resistance. All that being said, we can see MACD is converging here and everything looks peachy, honestly. We're looking very, very solid on the daily time frame. 4-hour time frame, this is where things get a little different. In other words, we're hitting 70 on the RSI. Generally speaking, we either reject or continue higher. You typically don't want to secure profits on an RSI over 70. You want to kind of let the profits ride. Even though we've been securing profits on our trade, we still have a little bit left remaining, so just let it kind of go. I think our next target is 108.9, 108,900. So that'd be a good consideration for next take profit target. All that being said, everything's super strong here. You don't necessarily want to short into this, but we're starting to see a secondary overextension. So if you kind of see here, we previously hit an 8 on TD sequential. Basically, we moved 32 hours in the same direction. We're now at a 6 on TD sequential, right? So we're 24 hours into this push. Having said that, we maybe have another 12 hours of continuation before the price starts to pull back. Generally speaking, you'll see, 9s on TD sequential. They are very consistent in a lot of ways. And when you see a second 9 specifically, which we should be counting up that here soon, by the end of today's trading day, if we're still at the 108 to 109K range, I think that might be a solid consideration for a short. So those are things that I'm kind of just generally thinking of right now. I think it's too premature to short, even though it the price very well could pull back. We're still seeing increased volume. You don't want to short into that just yet. Once more, 25 billion in liquidation long delta. That's something you want to kind of acknowledge and recognize that there's way more buyers than sellers right now. So trying to just short the top, it needs time to kind of mature, right? So let it cook a little bit longer. That's kind of where we're at. I hope that makes sense. I described it correctly. Appreciate y'all learning and growing with us here. Once more, check us out over at Bitunix, and also link down below if you want to join us at on social media. But more important, CryptoCache.tech if you want to join us with our trading signals, and I've got a trading academy as well. So good stuff. We've got a lot of new members coming over, so I just kind of want to clarify this. Make sure you read through our signals guide so you know how to structure your trades based on the trade signals that I send. Right? This is all available for you there. Make sure you read through it. It's a good resource. All right. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you in the next one, folks. Take care of yourself out there. Bye-bye.